Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA, FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Thank you for turning to 10, your news leader. 10 News Conference with Gene Valicenti continues right now.
Within the past few years, it has just gotten worse and worse and worse because the cost of living has gone up so high.
Particularly for the people at the lower end of the pay scale. For the clerks, the mechanics, the cooks, they're hurting a lot. And even if they get those COLAs back, you can't give them those 12 years back.
Those are just a few of the retirees who want changes to Rhode Island's pension reforms from when Gina Raimondo was governor. She essentially gave them a haircut, and they'd like to grow their hair back. Well, the man who maybe can help them, and that's a big underscore, maybe, is State Treasurer James Diossa, who's in with us. Treasurer, thanks for coming in.
No, thank you, Gene, for having me on your show again.
You would like to help the retirees if you can, but I think that's fair to say. That's a big if you can.
Look, I want to commend the legislature for commissioning this committee to look and review the reforms of 2011. I think one of the directions from the legislature was to look at options that they can explore to help the retirees, the actives, the prospective employee. You know, the biggest thing for retirees is the COLA, and I agree. Cost of living has increased, inflation, everything has been more difficult for the retiree who hasn't received a COLA in many years. So I think all of that is on the table, and we'll leave it up to the legislature to decide. But I do want to give particular credit to the Speaker and the Senate President. You know, last year they passed a budget that every excise revenue surplus, half of it would go into the pension fund. So $6 million was transferred into the pension fund, which again, it's prudent. I think it's very thoughtful of them to try to get us back on a path to 80% where the COLAs will be restored.
Okay, since you brought them up, let's listen to them. We have some clips of the people you just mentioned. Go ahead and play them.
Obviously, it's something that people want. It's something that we would love to give them, but we don't know if we're worried about the affordability of it right now.
I don't know, because I don't know what the study commission has. I want to be fair and open to that process, and I want to see what they come up with, and I want to see if anything's in the governor's budget on that as well.
That's Speaker Siccarci, just before him, Senate President Ruggiero. And listen, the governor would like to help if he can, too. So we'll see. Now, you have a study commission set up, and you've appointed people, or people have been appointed. How many different meetings, and where are we now?
We are in our 4th meeting. They're going to have the next one at the end of January. They already started to think of the ideas and options that we're going to go and evaluate and see what the cost of each option will be. This is a terrific group. You know, you have not only retirees represented, unions, public, private sector, you know, folks who have experience looking at pensions. So this is, I think, a very well-balanced commission. More importantly than that, I also want to commend my team because they've been really good about making this information and meetings very accessible, whether it's on Capitol TV or live stream. All the information that's presented is on our website. Any testimony that's provided to us is put on that website as well. So it's been a very open, transparent process. Our team is fully engaged so that they can provide any expert analysis or information. And I think this will yield a good report on March 1st.
Okay, by way of background, you're involved in this because the state treasurer oversees the investment of the pension fund. And you then write the checks, too.
Correct.
It's your name on there, right?
It is my
okay.
name. Yeah.
All right, so that's why you're Mr. Pension, so to speak. Realistically now, you've had a few meetings. What do you think that these retirees can hope for? They're not going to get what they want in the end, completely.
Look,
nobody ever does. But what are we talking? Half a loaf of bread, a couple of slices? What do you really think?
Look, I think that when I came in last year, it was clear that the retirees were hurting, and that's why I had proposed a stipend. Look, it didn't go anywhere. Some of the retirees rejected the idea of a $500 one-time stipend. Understood. I think what this commission has done is they've heard from almost every sector. The retirees had their own meeting where they were able to voice their concerns. All these topics are very sensitive. What the commission has looked at from what I've been seeing is, we must look at options for retirees, but there's also the question of the actors right now. There are folks who are working longer for less of a pension, and then how do you hire new employees and retain them for a much longer time? So those are the questions that the commission is looking at. You're right, the retirees have been the loudest group. I'm very sensitive to their concerns. They've been without a COLA for many years, and I think that's going to be a very strong option on the table.
Are there any out-of-the-box ideas? Are you talking about a supplemental fee on something to get them some money? The budget just came out from the governor, and he already told us all that COVID money is gone.
I know.
I guess it would have been nice to give him a slice of it if you could. It didn't happen.
Correct. And I don't want to.
Is there any out-of-the-box idea? Any other alternative funding method, or the money is in the general pot and we want some of it? What is it?
I'm very confident in this commission that they are thinking outside of the box about providing relief to these different groups. I don't want to jump to conclusion, but I believe that once this report is done, it will analyze whether the reforms of 2011 actually worked, and more importantly, what are the options for the legislature to consider.
Okay, but just correct me if I'm wrong. It's my understanding that there's a general pot of money, and that's the pot.
Correct.
And that's the only place the money's going to come from. I'll take a little bit and I'll sprinkle it around to make the pensioners happy, the retirees happy, because they want to be restored. And I understand that money's money, right? Nobody likes to take a cut. But is there an alternative funding? Is there something else that I'm not seeing?
The other is the relief that the governor is providing on the exemptions on retirees' pensions. So if it's one person, 20. If it's two, it's $50,000 of an exemption. I think that's important because it provides some relief there. I don't have the actual dollar figure of what that is going to mean for the retiree, but that's one way through the governor's budget that he's going to provide some relief to the retirees. But again, I want to wait till March 1st, and once these options are out, everyone's going to see it. This information is going to be available to everyone, and we're going to let the legislatures debate and decide what to move forward.
Now, one of these meetings has been set aside for comment from the retirees to come in?
Yes, we made special accommodations. No, this was the third meeting.
Right.
They asked that we hold the meeting at CCRI in Warwick. We made the accommodations. There was good turnout. I think everyone was pleased with the interaction, but more importantly, like I said earlier, they've been the loudest group, and I wanted to make sure that they had a meeting for themselves.
We had that on the news. There was a packed house that night. Are they going to be able to be heard at any subsequent meetings coming up? Is there space for them to be heard again?
We've said that they can come to the meeting and submit written testimony. I think right now they're in the stages of developing what's going to come out of this report.
All right, let's talk about the fund in general. You're responsible for overseeing that with an investment committee that advises you. Listen, Wall Street has been up and down. Yesterday it was up, but the day before it was down. I'm not sure what the prognosis is for the coming year. Some people say we're going to go in a tank. You better be prepared. What are you hearing? What are your concerns? Where are you putting the money?
I know there's a lot of conversations. When are the interest rates going to get cut? Are we going to have a soft landing, or are we going to go into recession? I think for us, we don't drive our investments based on headlines. And so I think the fund has done overwhelmingly well. We met our benchmark expectations and exceeded it last year. We're on a good trend now. I think the fact that the fund is a very diverse fund as far as where we invest our money is important. And I'm very confident in the State Investment Commission, who has done a tremendous time, even during turbulent times, to ensure that we get good returns. This is a $10.5 billion fund. And to me, it's not only safeguarding the taxpayers' money, but ensuring that we're meeting the benefit requirements for our retirees.
I just have about a minute and a half. You, through sponsors, can get legislation heard. What are your legislative priorities? What bill would you like to move?
Well, more importantly, again, ensure that we provide a good report to the legislature. That's priority number one. Outside of that, we have two legislative initiatives that we want to move. One is Secure Choice, which allows the private sector, any business who doesn't offer any retirement benefits, the ability to participate in this program offered by my office at no cost. This would give access to the employee to invest in a Roth IRA. More importantly, there's no contribution match from the employer. And if the employee leaves a job, it's portable, it follows them.
Okay.
Look, Rhode Island is one of the third highest states in the country where a lot of our population does not have access to a retirement savings program. And this is critical for the future of our state. We want our families to be able to retire very honorably in our state. So that's one initiative, which is Secure Choice. We feel very strongly about that. Second one is one that's been moving around very positively around the country, and it's baby bonds.
Yeah.
I know it's a topic that has been happening among a few days.
Just about 30 seconds.
Oh.
Explain it to us real
Baby
easy.
bond.
And by the way, you just had a baby, so
Yeah.
Go ahead. So what would it be?
For every Rhode Island child that's born in Rhode Island and they qualify for Right Care or Medicaid, they would get $3,000. We would invest that fund. 18 years, this fund could grow up to $12,000 per person. They could use it for a vehicle, college, buy their first home, invest in a business. And I think it's a good way to bridge that wealth gap.
You qualify, $3,000 set aside. Nobody touches it until you're 18.
18.
And then you could spend it for certain things.
Correct.
With just
In Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island. You can
Rhode
spend it
Island.
in Rhode Island. 30 seconds left. You came down very hard on the Washington Trust Bank in Westerly, correct? You weren't happy with where their branches were located. They pretty much conceded, okay, without conceding any wrongdoing, we'll do whatever you want. How's that coming along?
It's, very well. The president and I speak regularly. The first step was to create this diversity committee. It's working well. We've been monitoring the other requests that we made.
Yeah.
They've been very good at keeping us informed, and I think we're very happy at this point with how the relationship is going.
You said that they were not opening branches in minority communities, and you
The feds. Yeah.
Well, but you were the one who kind of you took the
Well,
bull by the horns,
we're,
and you.
we're a huge depositor
Right.
at Washington Trust.
That's correct, and you said that feds are right, and Washington Trust, you better get in line. And they did not admit to any wrongdoing. However, they will work with you on opening up new
And they
branches.
have. They've been doing a good job.
All right, Treasurer, thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
Thank
See you
you.
again.
All right.
All right.